Okay, you ready? Let's do it. You're listening to Chats from a Chair with me, Nick Dempsey, coming to you from my wheelchair. I speak with people who have a great story to tell, portraying the human potential, often in the face of adversity. Check out the Instagram page at chatsfromachair_podcast and let me know who you think I should have on and have a chat with. Also, don't forget to hit follow on whatever platform you're listening to this. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode. G'day and welcome to Chats from a Chair.
Cut.
Oh, you're a tool. Yeah.
Let's try that again. I didn't like it. You need more emphasis on welcome.
Do we give more intro music or what's going on?
That's all done over the editing.
Oh, it's all
separately.
post, is it?
It's all
Righto.
post. That's the old one. That's not the thing anymore.
Just made it up.
Okay, are you ready now?
Well, it depends. Are you ready? You didn't seem ready with that introduction.
G'day and welcome to Chats from a Chair. Today I have with me the two biggest tools to ever walk the earth, my two older brothers, Mitchell and Rhys. So if there's an episode you want to switch off for, this will be the one. Guys, welcome.
It was a bit rude, but thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Pinnacle of your life, coming on the podcast.
I
Rhys,
have been waiting a long time.
he's been waiting every time I talk to him for the past 2 years, been waiting to come on, so I thought I'd finally shut him up.
Well, I thought I got to find out what these episodes are about because I don't listen to them.
Yeah, no one will listen to this one once they hear you're on it, so that'll be fine. Okay, yes, well, we thought we'd get you guys on while you're up in Queensland celebrating Mum and Dad's 60th. Shout out to Pete and Trudes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Rhys, you going to say happy birthday?
Well, happy birthday.
We've, I suppose, never really spoken about my accident at all. The partner,
Mitch and I talk about it all the time.
I did. The partners thought it would be a good idea to come on, but I suppose for those that don't know, I sustained a spinal cord injury coming up to 7 years ago now in January. At my 21st, dove into backyard pool, hit the bottom, dislocated my neck and compressed my spinal cord, and now a C3, C4 quadriplegic. So that's me, but I thought, come on, you guys were there when it happened, so I thought we'd have a chat about it. Excited?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I suppose first off, Mitch, you're the oldest. How old are you now?
33.
33, looking every
I
day.
had to think about that too.
And Rudog, you are
31.
31 now. Both living in Albury. Mitch is a plumber. Rhys tried plumbing, failed, went to school teaching. Now
I did.
trying to inspire
Inspire the youth.
Yeah.
Did I fail it or did I just pass it so quickly I moved on?
No, I'm pretty sure you failed. Okay, do you guys obviously were there when I had my accident? Because I don't remember it. So what's your recount of what happened? Did anyone actually see it happening? Like see the lead up and see me jump?
I think I did.
I was going to say you should probably get this one because I didn't get to him till he was out of the pool.
No, well, what I saw was you were having a drink or something in a chat with somebody, kind of thinking who's the best or who's the toughest or who can do something. And regardless, the pool gate was open because people were in and out of the pool all night. So the pool gate was open with something holding it open. So there was a free run to the pool, and all I saw was you talking to somebody. It would have been something like, oh, watch this, I can do it, whatever. And from pretty much in front of Mum and Dad's garages downstairs at Diggers Road, you kind of made a V line through the gate and jumped into the pool. You did do a dive, so you kind of went, rather than diving out, you went up and over, and kind of you went in. And I was actually, from memory, standing with Mum at the time, and we were watching you, and you went in, and then you didn't come up, you just floated up with your back up and your head still in the water. So Mum screamed, get him out. So I think I jumped in. I think Georgia maybe jumped in too, and just rolled you over, grabbed your head and just dragged you to the deep end of the pool. And for some reason I remember I think was Dean Lewis there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, Dean Lewis was there, and he was one of the just in the pool as well. And him and Dad were at the end and dragged you to the end and got you out. And I think you were kind of out of it a little bit, saying, "I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay."
No, you were unconscious for a bit.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
remember you were on your side, and then we were trying to get a response, didn't get anything, put you on your back to start CPR, and that's when you started talking.
and then, yeah, I think Dean was squeezing your feet or something, and you're like, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good." When obviously you,
I was not good.
no, you weren't
You were
good.
not good.
But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, you made a V line for the pool and jumped in.
How long was I in the water? Or like how long was I?
10 seconds,
Yeah,
like
okay.
maybe, like while he floated up before. Like everyone was thinking, oh, all right, he's just jumped in, he's just hanging underwater. Like, you know, you're going to use all the breath you had, then you're going to come up.
'Cause I think a few people thought that I knocked myself out. Did they? That was the first thought. I think a couple of my mates reckoned that.
Maybe,
more,
yeah.
More so than.
No, well, honestly, I just thought when you were coming up, I thought, you know, you dove in, you're just hanging underwater for a bit, you're floating around, and you're going to put your head up when you're out of breath. But luckily, we didn't wait.
No, luckily. Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been on this podcast.
Yeah. And then so I was in and out of consciousness a bit.
No, once you came to, you were talking,
Yeah.
but yeah, you weren't moving anywhere.
Then I was just like.
And then I was just waiting for the ambulance, really.
Just stabilising me on.
Yeah,
the
making
side.
sure you didn't move. Waiting for the ambos to get there. I don't know how long that was, but it felt like it was pretty quick. But
It did feel like it was pretty quick.
yeah,
And then was it like 3 came? 3 ambos or something? Or
I think there was at least 2.
I
I
think
couldn't
there
tell
was
you.
2, yeah. I think there was 4 paramedics.
and then I went. Well, look, what were you? Did you guys know? Like, because you were at the snow, you knew about like spinal cord injuries and stuff.
Yeah, I just finished first aid course about 18 months before that, which was probably pretty lucky.
So did you think straight away like that's what had happened, or?
I wasn't real sure. We were hoping it was just swelling, but
Yeah, true.
we didn't really. Well, I didn't really know what had happened to start with, so it was a bit hard to tell.
Yeah, no one knew. I kind of thought you were just stunned, and I guess it comes back when, like you say, the swelling or the
Oh, yeah.
trauma goes down.
Yeah,
but-
because I do remember you were saying you thought you had a bit of feeling in your toes when
Oh,
Dean was
right.
pinching them.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, that's a good sign, but it could have just been that. Well, who knows? I think you'd had a couple of beers, so who knows what was going to happen.
I'd had 1 or 2. Yeah, right. So then I was taken back to hospital, and then when was it that I was actually like sort of diagnosed? I suppose was that not till Melbourne or?
It wasn't till Melbourne.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't until Melbourne, but I don't really.
No,
No.
you went home. You and
We came to the hospital and saw him before he got airlifted.
Yeah, and then the next day we went to Melbourne. Did you come?
Yeah, we drove up in the morning.
But you came back that day because we stayed at Paddy's old man's apartment in Melbourne.
Yep.
And whether it was that day, because I was on school holiday, so I stayed for about 3 or 4 days. And I remember Mum, Dad, myself, and Lily were sitting in maybe Georgia was there too at the time, but maybe we were sitting in a room with a doctor. He called us in and basically explained that what had happened, and I don't know the medical terminology, but pretty much saying you won't walk again, you won't do anything, and everyone was at that point quite defiant, going, "Oh, this could happen, or there's this out there." But yeah, I think pretty much on that, because it was your 21st the next day, because the first day you were in Melbourne was the 8th of January.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was on that day that they said, yeah, you wouldn't walk again.
Yeah, right. Happy 21st.
Worst present ever.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
But I do remember, for some reason, it just stays in my mind, the anaesthetist or whoever the doctor was that was, administering the drugs, looked like Jeff, the Purple Wiggle. And he was so good at what he does, but you were out of it. He goes, "Oh, I can wake him up if you want." He turns this morphine or whatever it is down. He's like slapping your face, going, Nick, wake up, your family's here. Turn it up, you're like doing this. And he goes, "Okay, turn it back on, you're out of it again." It's just so weird. He's just, slapping you on the face.
And it's funny because Jeff usually goes the other way. You usually have to wake him up.
Maybe I was so good at it.
Yeah, real power trip. Yeah, right. So that was when you were told about my diagnosis.
At the very early stages when they were pretty sure what was going on. Obviously, nothing was set in stone at that point, but they were quite sure what happened.
Because I don't have a memory of like being told.
Do you remember much of being in the ICU?
A little bit, yeah. I remember having to communicate with my eyebrows.
Everyone remembers that.
Yeah. You guys called me the Cadbury Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I remember waking up to start with. The first thing I remember is actually, I think George's mum coming in, like screaming my name, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Woke you up.
Woke me up. But it had that tube down my throat that was just like, I was sitting at the back of my throat, and I was just like gagging on it the whole time. It was horrible. But yeah, I remember bits at ICU, and then getting the tubes out of my throat, and then actually being able to talk again was pretty sick.
Yep.
I just remember sucking the saliva out of your
Oh, the
mouth
sputum
all the time
stuff.
with
Yeah.
the little sucker thing.
That was so satisfying. Yeah, no, ICU was a good time. But what was your reaction the first time you came and saw me? Like, obviously, I still would have been pretty hooked up to a lot of stuff.
It was pretty confronting, but I think, I didn't really know what to expect, I guess, because we saw you just before you got airlifted in Albury, and it kind of looked like that. But I guess you were still conscious, whereas we couldn't really talk to you in the ICU.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, that's the same as me. I think I just was very confronting seeing you basically lay there almost like a vegetable at that point. Like you weren't talking, you weren't even up to moving your eyebrows, you hadn't worked that hard yet. But I think Dad said once, like, he had to, obviously when the news started to get around, he had to call people, and Grandpa Jack, I think he went to call Grandpa Jack, and before, whether I got this around the right way or not, but whether before Dad could actually tell him, Grandpa Jack went, bloody hell, that helicopter again came to Albury last night and woke me up because he was living in East Albury. And then Dad had to explain that it was actually you on it.
Yeah.
But I think, he was saying bloody woke him up, which he was a bit unfortunate.
Yes. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so obviously, ICU would have been pretty full on, but then I suppose as I got better and moved to the ward, and before you guys left me in the elevator at the hospital.
Excuse me, I was with you for that.
True, yeah, you were with me. Everyone else just bailed. Yeah, like I suppose seeing me get better, but then also not get better, was that weird?
It was weird. Like the time I probably felt worst for you was when you're at the Talbot and you would have only been, however long, 9 months post-accident or whenever you're there. I think I just beat you 21-0 at basketball that day. But you were telling, like, they had a fake car set up there and you were so ambitious that you were going to drive within a year or something. Like, you want to do these driving lessons so early, and you were thinking so far ahead, where I think everyone else was actually quite more realistic, going, you've got a long way to go. And it was good you were so optimistic, but it was quite sad to see that you weren't maybe at that point understanding the severity of it.
Yeah, I remember thinking I was just going to get to rehab and then everything would be sweet and I'd be playing wheelchair basketball. And
Well, I think the first 6 months wasn't far off that, because you were making pretty good improvements.
Yeah.
Well, probably while you're at the Talbot, so about the first 6 months.
Yeah.
It was always you could move this, and then you got out of moving your chair with your chin, and then you could drive with your hand.
Then you got stuck against a wall with your chin.
Yeah, I did get stuck against a wall once.
Wasn't a nurse walking past the room and saw you up against the wall?
Just tucked in the corner.
Having a time out.
My hand fell off the remote. I wasn't strong enough to get it back on. She's like, Nick, you okay? I was like, no. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just get to rehab and then do heaps of therapy and then it'll be sweet. But obviously it did not happen that way, and that was probably a few weeks into that where I was like...
No, it was good seeing the improvement. It was when the improvement sort of stopped a little bit is when I sort of thought, here we are.
Yeah, true. That was... because like you said, it was always...
There's always something, I can move this, I can do this now.
Yeah, the thing's getting a bit better.
Yeah, this is a bit stronger. Like you could get your hand up back onto your chair.
Yeah,
that's right.
Then it sort of plateaued a bit. Yeah. What else am I talking about? Yeah.
And it's your podcast, so
We'll be back after this short break.
Yeah.
this word from our sponsors.
No, I was actually going to ask you about finally being able to beat me in sport now. Find that's all it took.
No one knows that I secretly tripped you when you dove in.
Yeah. Just to beat me in basketball, finally.
And now I'm no longer the shortest.
Yeah, true.
Oh, actually, I don't know.
When I raise my chair up, we're pretty close.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I suppose you would have been getting smashed with questions from people back home too, were you?
Well, yeah, and still do.
Yeah,
Still do,
everyone's always after updates. The first bit was all like everyone, you sort of just told everyone what had happened, and I think Nick's Journey Facebook page was keeping everyone a bit updated as well.
Yeah, true. And then I made you travel back and forth to Melbourne for a little bit. Sorry about that.
Put a
No,
lot of
no.
Ks on the car.
Mitch and I bonded. It was really nice.
We also didn't drive in the car together, so I don't know how that happened.
We went down Australia Day that time.
Yeah, we did actually.
We did.
Talk
and-
on the phone the whole drive.
Oh,
did
no,
you?
we had to take Mum's car down once, Mum's old Mercedes. And I remember I put the seat warmer on for Mitchell, and he didn't realise till we got about halfway. He was cooking in the car, and then he realised I'd put the seat warmer on.
Yeah, that was mean.
That was a funny one.
That was a good one, actually.
That's a
I'll give
good
you
one. Any other gags you want to let the people know about?
Played I Spy.
Yeah, I suppose that you guys, from my view, I guess took very different approaches to what you could do to help, which I suppose is similar to mum and dad. Like Rhys probably took the more hands-on, I guess because you could as well with being on on holidays.
Yeah, and I think I was living back at Mum and Dad's at that point as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I was around a lot more, and even took a couple of days off work at points when Mum and Dad are away.
yeah. Whereas Mitch, I suppose you probably put more towards what Dad did with the Nick's Journey house and organising all that sort of stuff, which I suppose is probably more suited to what your personalities are anyway. But is that sort of what you guys felt like the way you could help? And
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, hands-on approach was good, and a lot of people on their toes around you, so on edge, they didn't know what to do or how to act like you, so around you. So I think I always just took the approach that I was never going to change. Like if I didn't agree with something you said, I'll tell you. I wouldn't just bow down to you like a lot of people
yeah,
probably did. Like you wanted to do something, so they're righto, let's go do that. Like they felt sorry for you. Where I just wanted to make sure you're still grounded and still didn't, feel sorry for yourself that you could just say anything and do anything and get away with it because you had an accident.
yeah,
Want to make sure that you're still kind of,
yeah,
you,
which
you
was
knew
good.
you knew the world wasn't going to revolve around you at that point. And I think you did, but
Well, it did before.
I was
So
So I don't think much changed in that front.
but no, the hands-on approach, and I guess just treating you as I ever would was kind of the way I wanted to go about it.
yeah, and so did you you still were hands on, but I suppose just not being there, not being able to be there as much as Rhys. I suppose at hospital with work and stuff.
Didn't have the time off work, and I mean, we still tried to come down as much as we could on weekends and stuff, but like you said, we were still in town during the week, so we just sort of did what we could from there.
Yeah, and the Nick's Journey house was.
Sorry, can I just say, don't forget we had to look after Dad too, because
That
Mum
is
was in
true.
Melbourne for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So
Dad almost
Dad
blew up-
learned to boil water. That was good.
you
Almost-
realise there was a kitchen at home and laundry. He found those places.
Almost blew up the microwave reheating meals, I think, from people donating.
Well, actually, is this a good time to tell him the time he made you Easy Mac?
That I read him instructions saying, oh no, sorry, he read the instructions. He says, 3 or 4 cups of water. I said, oh, it's pretty full. Gets it out, it's still water as hell. Looked again, 3/4 of a cup. It was the last time he tried to make me Easy Mac when I was young. But yeah, the Nick's Journey house, that was a good idea. Was it Dad's idea?
I think it was Dad's idea. I think he put all that together.
Yeah.
I kind of just came in and helped out with a bit of the construction stuff, but that was his brainchild, that one.
Yeah, about building. It was a block of land that I was put a deposit down that I was going to buy and build a house on, but instead, with the community of Albury, put together the materials, everyone's time for as cheap as possible. A lot of it close to nothing to build a house and then auction off as a fundraiser to go towards my rehab. I was still driving down to Melbourne trying to buy equipment to get as much rehab as possible. So without that stuff, I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere near the amount of, I suppose, improvement that I got. So that was a massive help from the Albury community and Dad, and Mitch put a lot of time into that on when he's not at work. So that was sick. Yeah, luckily we kept Rudog away from the plumbing there, so that was.
Yeah, it all went to plan.
I helped out on the weekend occasionally. I think I helped the Brickies one weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, they wanted to get rid of me pretty quick.
Yeah. Got you digging a hole for the bricks.
Just go in the back corner and dig a hole.
What can I do to help, guys? Can you dig a hole out the back, please? Well, I suppose then I came home. Like I said, Rudog, you moved home with Mum and Dad, or you were home, sorry, with Mum and Dad. Acted like it was to help me, was really just to save you money.
It was.
And then, I suppose it was just life back in Albury, sort of watching progression. Is that about it? Like I said, do you two remember putting the Oreo on my head and making me move it
I
down
do.
to my mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So many
We
people.
played some fun games.
Yeah, it was good. I think that was in rehab where you were eating Oreos and I wanted one, so you'd maybe put it on my forehead and you use my face muscles to work it down to my mouth. Didn't do it. I think got it to my eye and then it fell off.
Yeah, you never quite got that one.
No,
We can try again.
We probably could try again. yeah, well, I suppose now, what is it, almost coming up to 7 years post. I suppose you're just used to it now. It's pretty normal now.
It's kind of just the way it is now, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, now I'm living away from home. Unfortunately for you guys, you don't get to see me as much anymore. Sorry about that.
Spewing.
Could gave you an excuse to come up here more often though. So
Yeah,
you're welcome.
no, it is free accommodation.
No, is it though? Sometimes. Yeah, I suppose now rehab sort of plateaued is what it is now, but
Well, I think with your rehab though, like you now involved in Pericross Foundation, you're in this SIP month thing. I don't know the proper name for it. Sorry, but your rehab's done more than just physical. Like it's broadened you out into the community and people like you that you can actually not associate with, but you have both been through something that you can connect with. And you know the fundraisers, for example, that you go to is almost like now your community. They're for you. No one's on edge around you because it's everyone's in that same boat. So I think your rehab's done more than just physical, but probably for your mental health too. It's kept you okay that there's other people out there like you.
You're probably busier now than you would have been if you had to stay at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have time now to work or do anything. It's ridiculous.
yeah, I know it's crazy. Lucky I slotted you guys in. Yeah, pretty busy.
That job list in front of us is looking quite big.
It's slid one day at a time. No, but you're right. It has that was a big thing about moving up here as well.
Well, it got you up here too.
Yeah, no, it's been massive. Coming up here has been heaps better for me, which I suppose everyone can probably tell as well. With all mates and everything. I mean, I love Albury, but
even physically, like when you're back at home and you're watching the footy on the weekend, watching Ginger play, you could only ever stay till half time because it got too cold for you.
Exactly.
You couldn't regulate your temperature. In summer, you couldn't get out and do anything. Or at least here, all year round, you can actually get outside and be active in the sense that you're not just bound at home in front of the heater where you're freezing.
Yeah,
Take the kids for a ride on the chair.
Kids, nieces and nephews love it. Fight for the spot.
Yep.
Flynn loves pressing every button there is.
He doesn't drive in the chair.
Holding the horn down.
Take Luna for a walk. She always finds a way back somehow.
She does. Luckily, she's pretty clever, that one. But yeah, like you said, probably a lot better for my not that I was ever too bad with my mental health at all, but like it is better up here.
Yeah.
But did you guys struggle at all with it, or?
Honestly, no. Like everyone says, like you've experienced trauma, it's got to be underlying in you somewhere. But I've always said no. Like it hasn't. I think your attitude helped everybody.
Goodness, I reckon if you were sitting there feeling sorry for yourself in rehab, it might have been a different story.
Exactly right. But when you were so optimistic, it kind of made us think, well, why would we be upset if you've got the worst of it, and if you're okay, we should be okay too.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was definitely things to get used to, but it was never, down in the dumps for me.
No, it was like it sucked, but like I said, you were good with it. Well, from what we saw anyway, you were good with it.
Yeah.
So that made it a lot easier on everyone, and we still had a joke and
that's the
just
thing.
had to learn to feed you with a fork. It's a lot harder to feed somebody with a fork than you'd think.
It is, isn't it?
It's a bit of an art to it.
Did you see my bib over there? I bought a bib now for myself.
Good idea.
It's very dirty.
Although it did prepare me for feeding kids, so
well, you're
that
welcome.
was good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Still remember the day I had to feed you a kebab, and I fed you better than I fed myself.
A lot of people say that. Like Joey giving me a burger, he reckons it does that and then just goes all over himself when he does it. It was like, I suppose it went hand in hand with you guys treating me normal and then me being able to like then be more okay with it to then make it easy on you guys, like a chain effect sort of thing. But I suppose that's like putting the Oreo on my head, making me do that. Like you still dickheads to me now than as you were before. I remember one time Cal in rehab, my best mate has terrible eyesight, and he was visiting me one time in my room and it was raining outside, and I said something about it raining, and Cal goes, "What the hell? How do you know it's raining?" I was like, "Us normal people, Cal, can see it." And he goes, "Yeah, well, us normal people, Nick can walk outside and feel it." And I was like, "Yep, all right, you got me."
Yep.
But no, I suppose that, like I said, now it's sort of it is what it is. We're all pretty used to it.
Yeah, I think one of the weirdest things I do remember was watching. Remember how we used to have to make you cough by pushing down and up on your diaphragm?
Yeah.
I remember watching Dot do that one day and just thinking, bloody hell, like she really didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, exactly. It was that. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's
Dot's my partner as well.
Yeah, that's
anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, Dot and Lily, both your partners. It's
Who's mine?
Lily.
What?
Oh, you said Dot and Lily, both his partners.
No, I said Dot, your partner, and Lily.
Okay.
Anyway,
edit that bit out.
Yeah, edit that bit out. Dot and Lily, and all coming together, and they do stuff
Chipped
for
in
me
and
as well.
feed you and
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, everyone obviously just being accepting and doing that has made it so much easier for me because not made me feel weird or anything because it is obviously at the start, like the feeding thing, that is at the start a weird thing to have to get used to. But I suppose now it's, yeah, like I said, pretty normal. And now it is what it is. And now you guys just get to come up here and see me. Sorry that you guys got to spend, Mum and Dad probably go to you more now that I'm gone. Sorry, guys. They might actually pay you
coming up
attention.
here a fair bit.
Yeah, true. True. But yeah, I suppose that's it. I usually ask my guests at the end, so what's something they're most proud of? But I know you guys are just going to say being my brother, so you're welcome.
Well, you're wrong.
What are you most proud of about you, or just what we've achieved in life?
No, I suppose you can talk about yourselves for a little bit if you want. Something that you're proud of in yourself.
Mitchell, go for it.
I believe he was looking at you.
What am I proud of? We'll be back after this short break. I don't know. Just I guess life. I mean, I feel like I've got a 2.5-year-old daughter now. Proud of her. Proud of the way I'm being a dad. Proud of Lily, how she's being a mum. Proud of just you, how well you've done. There's nothing particular that I'm proud of.
Well, that's good. There's lots of them then.
Well, I was going to say, unless I hit a hole in one, I'll be proud of that.
Yeah.
Until that day, I've got nothing really that comes straight to mind.
The sounds of the way you're going, it's not going to be any day soon.
But no, I'm proud of you ticking those jobs off, mate. You're doing well.
Thanks, mate.
Just get through the 20th of September and get that tattoo and you're done.
Will do.
I don't know if it's to do with me as much, but it's good to have the kids grow up around somebody in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I thought that too.
They're not weird around. I know a lot of people aren't exposed to it. I guess I probably wasn't until you ended up in a wheelchair. I don't think I knew anybody in a wheelchair.
I also said the same thing.
Yeah. So the kids are just like, the kids have never known you out of a chair.
Yeah, true. Flynn's getting to the age now where he's sort of starting to ask questions like, what?
Is he?
Yeah. He said to me, they asked me yesterday, actually, he's like, I can't remember how he said it, something about, did I hurt myself or something? I was like, yeah, buddy. He's like, He was trying to figure out a way to get me on the rides at SeaWorld. And I was like,
just come on, get out and do it.
He's like, what if you put your wheels at the front of the roller coaster? And I was like, oh, don't know if that's a good idea, mate.
Yeah, but that's like, you're not going to grow up sort of not trying to not look at somebody in a chair, or
yeah, exactly. That's one.
They
thing.
just treat them normally.
Yeah, with anyone we sort of used to have on the unaffected, and spoken to that have grown up with disability. They're a lot more accepting of anyone around them because I think it's not that we weren't, but like we just didn't.
You just weren't.
Really,
you're not exposed to it.
Well, realistically, we weren't. Like, was there
Yeah.
anybody that we really knew as such, and we didn't shy away from it. It just wasn't.
No, I ended up having a bloke at school in a wheelchair, but I mean, I suppose I almost, I've said this before, that people with disabilities were someone to be a bit careful around at times, just because I wasn't exposed to it. But obviously now, with having a disability, meeting so many different people, I suppose you guys have probably met more people with disabilities through me now as well. Just being
in rehab.
True.
It's probably the most people you come across until that day.
Yeah, and you just realise that it is very normal. Treat them very normal.
You just can't fit as many of them in the elevator. That's about the only difference.
It is pretty inconvenient. Although you do get to yell at people to get out of the elevator, leaving the footy and stuff. You get the
I do remember that actually. Yeah,
that's great. Now just get on my high horse.
Got good seats at SeaWorld too, for show.
You do get good seats everywhere. That's a bonus.
Yep, get a free ticket to places sometimes. Got to fight over who comes with you. Get the free one. So definitely good parking. Good park. I could not have got a closer park at SeaWorld. It was the very first one. It's fantastic. There we go. All right. I think that's about it. Any other questions for me?
What are you most proud of?
Having you on this podcast. No, me. No, I suppose just, the way I've dealt with this, I suppose still as a whole, I suppose not particularly one thing, just as a whole, the way I've carried on. Obviously, it's pretty easy to...
You're good at carrying on.
Thanks, mate. Pretty ezy to to get down when you sustain something like this. So I suppose it's the way, I've carried on. Would be me. No one's asked me that yet. Thanks, Roo.
Has there been many bad days that we haven't seen?
Some, obviously. I'd say there's been definitely more good days than bad days, but I suppose some days where it just sucks, or I want to do something I can't do, but I suppose now I'm not used to it. Like, it's still days that it sucks, but definitely a lot more. It's probably not bad days, just more bad, like, moments, or like 5 minutes, or whatever it might be, and then it's sweet again, where I just
frustrating, or
probably more frustration than anything, I reckon, than actual like sad.
Yep.
Yeah, more frustration because I was such a physical person before. Like I
Yeah.
was a plumber, I played a lot of sport. Like went to the gym every day. Like that was so much of my life. So when that changed, that adaptation took a fair bit. And obviously having to ask people to do everything is a thing as well. But yeah, probably more frustration, I think, more than anything. But yeah, once to sort of just sit and chill out for a bit and calm myself down, then I'm sweet. But yeah, other than that, I'm good.
And you said it's almost been about 7 years.
Mm.
What do the next 7 years look like? Like realistically, in 7 years, what do you think you will be doing? Do you think you'll have more movement? Do you think you'll find work? Do you think you'll...
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot going into like finding a cure at the moment, or it's some sort of treatment with the Pericross Foundation. So that's looking very promising. They're starting human trials, so who knows what that'll bring. Even overseas, there's a lot of stuff going into it. So not that I'm just sort of banking on that, but obviously you're hopeful. But other than that, I don't know. Like, get into more work and just
More work?
more
Some work.
Some work.
So I do work. Thank you very much. Just making bank, really.
It's a real estate mogul.
Yeah. Buy high, sell low. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, I suppose. I plan to still be on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Um,
Body covered with tattoos.
get some more tattoos, waste all my money on them. Yeah. And then really don't know. Just I'll be here, see what it brings. I want to try to do more sort of property stuff and sell my gloves. Drinking buddy coming soon. Yeah, I don't know. What about you?
7 years. What's that?
Would you check your watch for?
Yeah,
Just in case you missed something.
Glad someone saw that.
Yeah.
7 years. No, I don't know. Being more
more grey.
out of the classroom, doing some different work, but maybe still in the field of education.
Like PE or something?
No. Like something else. But no, 7 years. I don't know. Don't know. Having Poppy being 9 would be my goal.
Very good.
What about you? 7 years.
I have absolutely no idea. Plans change year from year.
That is true.
Okay, what's your plan for the rest of this year?
The rest of this year is get through it. Get through to Christmas. Have a bit of a break. Get married next year.
Oh yeah.
That's next year, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
Congratulations. Where are you getting married?
In Albury.
Guess I'll make the trip.
You're officiating.
Yeah, I am. Okay, that was it. Well, tool heads, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
That is it. Rhys got to go catch a flight, go back to Albury.
I do.
Definitely don't want you to miss that and have to stay here. So let's get you to that.
No, let's get you going.
All right, peace. There we go. That was my two older brothers, Mitch and Rhys, for the first time having a chat about the night of my accident and my disability as a whole, how it's impacted them, how they've seen it from the outside impacting me. Hopefully that came across all right. It was good to do by us, as we said on there. We've never actually spoken about it before, so it was good to, I guess, just check in with each other. It probably shouldn't have taken to get on a podcast to do that, so if you are thinking about speaking to a loved one, sibling, parent, whatever it is, just go do it. Have a chat. But as we said on there, that the way that they were able to treat me and carry on definitely helped me. And the way that they said that I was able to carry on helped them. And I know that's the same with mum and dad as well, with friends, family. So it's a whole collective team effort for everything. It always said that spinal cord injuries or disabilities affect more than just the individual. It's a whole team effort to overcome something like this. So, don't be afraid to lean on others when you need. And like I said, hopefully that came across okay. But otherwise, that's it for another episode. Check back in next time. Keep an eye on the Instagram page. I'll put some clips up, let you know when other episodes are coming out, or if there's someone you think I should have a chat with, let me know. But otherwise, see you back here next time.